because I want you to know that a lot of times that pressure that you're feeling to perform, to do all the things and to let your dog have all these experience isn't coming from the dog. It's not coming from the dog. It's coming from a belief system that told you that if you don't, that you're a failure. But your dog isn't feeling that. Oh, this is a juicy one today. Hey, if you're tired of trying to do it all for your dog and still feeling like it's not enough, this episode is your permission slip to stop the hustle and start being again. Let's talk about overstimulation guilt and why resting together is still connection. This episode, burned out trying to be the good dog owner. Here's the truth. Let's get into it. Ready to have a calm and peaceful life with your dog without the stress of those fear-based behaviors? Hi, I'm Tracy, and I've been there, overwhelmed by all the conflicting dog training advice and unsure of what to do next. But now I help dog lovers like you simplify your life with your dog by building confidence naturally, fostering trust, and addressing those fear-based challenges. So, if you're ready, stop chopping those chicken wieners and let's get to it. Well, hello, my dog-loving friend. It's Tracy. Welcome to Beyond Obedience, the podcast. I am going to give you a permission slip today. I'm hoping that you enjoy this. This is your, if you've been ever feeling burnt out as a dog owner, feeling like you have to go, do, and you are feeling it. You're like, I am so exhausted. The micromanagement is extreme and doing all the things. This today is your permission slip to let go of some things. I will tell you, as a sidebar, I'm just jumping right in here. I'm just jumping right here. I'm going to tell you as a sidebar that back, I don't know when it would have been. It was years and years ago, where a particular personal development guru started to hit the scene, coming out hard, an influencer, whatever, and he started with the hustle vibe, this idea that you have to hustle, that if you want to, be successful and reach all your goals and your dreams and all that stuff, that you have to hustle. And, and I remember just, so many people were on this hustle bandwagon. They were like, hashtag hustle and hashtag sleep when you're dead and all of that stuff. And I was just so repelled by the idea. I'm like, I don't want to hustle. I don't want. Some of it felt like a petulant child. I felt like I was like, I don't really want to hustle. I don't really want to because I'm tired. But I think part of the reason was at that time, I guess this will tell you how long ago it was, my kids were still small. And the one thing that I had, that was like a reality check to the gut was how fast time was going, how in a blink of an eye my kids went from babies to toddlers to it just happened so fast. And I remember sitting there listening to all of and everybody is jumping on the hashtag hustle bandwagon, and I was listening to it all, and all I could think of, I would look at my kids and I would think, I don't want you to hustle. Please slow this train down. I want to be here and be present for every single moment. So for me, hustle seemed like haste. It seemed like I was going to miss some things. And so I was really against the hashtag hustle. But I feel as though there's also a bit of a hashtag hustle in the dog world. You're bombarded with all the latest, greatest gadgets and things and toys and tools and puzzles. And, I had a good laugh recently. I was listening to a podcast. I think it was with Roberto Barada. I think it was him that I was listening to. Anyway, he said so. I actually laughed out loud. He said, people are spending all of this money getting their dogs puzzles and whatnot. But when their dogs get caught up in the leash, they don't want the dog to figure out how to get out of that puzzle. They race right in to fix the leash on a dog because they don't want them. And I laughed out loud. I'm like, how true is that? Like, we'll spend the money on a puzzle, but then not expect dogs to figure out the puzzles of life. Like we'll jump in to save them because we don't want them to be stressed out. Anyway, that's a sidebar, but I really did. I really do feel as though that there's a bit of a hashtag hustle in the dog world as well. This idea that you have to keep doing and do all the things and get all the things. And I have, seen it firsthand. I've seen it firsthand working with clients one-on-one. And this is now going to make any future client of mine be like, I have to make sure that Tracy can't see the state of my house. But when people are on their Zoom coaching calls with me and in the background, I can just see bins of toys and stuff everywhere. And, the dog puzzles and everything is strewed all over their house. And I'm like, it's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on there. And I get it. You're sucked into the hustle culture of the dog training world. And I think as a result, a lot of people are getting burnt out, as I was in the professional development world. And so just for a moment, I want you to, put everything down. I don't know if people take notes at all on any of my podcasts, but if you're like, Tracy's going to drop some wisdom, I got to write it all down. I want you to put down everything. Put down everything, and I want you to sit down for a second. If you're not sitting down, and I want you to close your eyes. Don't do this if you're in the car, obviously, but I want you to just kind of imagine, what is the perfect life with your dog? What does that look like? Just take a moment with me. Just take a moment and be like, what does that actually look like? What do you picture when you think about like a perfect life with your dog? And when I did this exercise, of course, the first thing for me I come up with a, oddly enough, winter scene. Why, Tracy? I hate the winter. It's so cold. That came up for me. I'm just going to go with it. So I picture a winter scene. I picture my cozy chair right in front of a nice fire. Oh gosh, do you know the warmth of the, like I have like wood burning fireplace in my house. And I have to say, there's just something magical about a wood burning heat that comes out. There's a dry heat about it, the crackling of the fire. And I've got a nice cup of tea, got my fuzzy socks on, and my snuggly cardigan. And my dogs are just peacefully lying around me. And I can hear Nigel snoring because he's a bit of a snorer. And I can imagine Dakota also, just like her soft breathing. Though the little noises that Nike does when she dreams, and her little feet and her legs twitch, and she makes these little tiny noises. And then, something happens and they hear a noise and they all get up. And because it's not going to be perfect forever. That happens. They all run to the door, and I get up and I look, and I'm like, yeah, it's a deer. And because it's winter and the deer's not currently eating my garden, I'm okay with the deer being there. But my God, if my garden was there, I'd be sending the dogs out, be like, get off my property, deer. I might be taking this too far. Anyway. All right, let's kind of move forward. So that's what I feel like in the house. That's what I kind of want, just this peaceful being. And this idea of just being with and just sort of taking in the moment of calm and quiet. My dog's enjoying that with me. And I will tell you, the reason why I can get this picture super, super clear is because that's what happens. That's what happens. I also love it. I have a king size bed. And I love, like, our fleece sheets, our fuzzy blankets, getting into the king size bed. The dogs are with me. Nike's always on my lap. She likes to lie on my lap. But Nigel beside me, Rue's on the corner of the bed, Dakota is beside me, Irie's on the other side of the bed. We're all just hanging out. Maybe I'm watching a television show, but everybody's really peaceful. It's all so nice. Okay, pulling myself out of that now. How else do I want to show up? Oh gosh, the walks in the woods. Oh, walks in the woods where they hang out with me. They come back. They're asking me questions. Like Nike's got a stick that's way too big for her, way too big for her. And I'm like, why do you want that stick? But she's like, I'm a Jack Russell and I'm going to powerhouse this stick. And we kind of laugh, and Eclipse comes back with her stick. Just, oh, so happy. Like the look on her face. And Levi's chasing a frog. And then I have to tell him to leave the frog because he likes to lick the frogs, and then he gets all foamy in the mouth. And anyway, you get my point. That is, so see that sigh? Oh, that is, that's what I picture. And not to be like, oh, like that's what I have, but that's what I have because that's what I picture. That's what my life with my dogs, not only that's not what it looks like, but that's what it feels like. It's peaceful and it's easy. And I don't know, there's a rhythm about it. And some days we go for a walk up the hill and we check out what's up there. Some days we go for a walk in the woods. Some days we don't go for a walk at all. And I know there's somebody's probably like, oh, what? You don't go for a walk at all? Yeah, sometimes we just hang out in the backyard. Sometimes we don't do anything at all. Sometimes we go to the beach. That's fun. Sometimes we have outings and we go to the beach. Sometimes we go in and see the girls at Suregang, but it's not a constant thing. We're not constantly doing all the things. It reminds me of people doing all the things and overscheduling like their kids, right? Like the constant, like we're constantly going and we have 14 different, we're in soccer and dance and, the chess club and all that stuff. And we're all over the place and we never have a chance to even think or just relax. And where does that all come from? Where does that pressure come from? Right? I believe a lot of it's cultural, if I'm being honest, that obedience and performative kind of lifestyle. Social media, of course. Social media is out there. I laugh because one of our members inside the student community said, yeah, I was talking to a friend. I was like, I really want to be able to take my dog to an outdoor cafe. And my friend turned to me and said, you don't even go to an outdoor cafe. Why would you want to take your dog there? And when she was retelling me the story, I was like, isn't that funny? We just because we see it on Instagram. Right? I saw it on Instagram, like having a fancy latte with your dog lying by your side in an outdoor cafe. But I mean, if you don't even like lattes or outdoor cafes, what are you doing? What are we even doing? There's a cultural bias that's affecting us. Maybe it comes from trainers' advice that sounds more like ultimatums. I don't know. The guilt of feeling inadequate, the guilt of feeling not enough, right? And the reality of it is, and this is the reality, and I want you to hear me. So if you had put down your notepad to imagine what you really want from your dog, if you put down that notepad, pick it back up, because I want you to know that a lot of times that pressure that you're feeling to perform, to do all the things and to let your dog have all these experience isn't coming from the dog. It's not coming from the dog. It's coming from a belief system that told you that if you don't, that you're a failure. But your dog isn't feeling that. Right? Now, don't get me wrong. If you're someone that closed your eyes and you pictured you want to be doing the obedience stuff and you want to do Rally-O because you like the camaraderie and the people and your dog loves it and whatnot, that's fine. That is 100% fine. I'm just not telling you. I'm asking you to be real with yourself. What's the world that you want? And then we're going to go towards that, because this is costing you and your dog these unrealistic ideas. And this is why I get so many, especially in my coaching calls, so many people that literally have this overwhelming sense of being burnt out. How can we be burnt out from our dogs? Right? The dogs didn't do it. The dogs didn't do it, right? So it's costing you. It's like when enrichment, the idea of enriching your dog's life turns into an obligation, right? When stillness feels uncomfortable, when you have this constant feel like I've got to get my dogs doing, and you're like, they're not doing something, and you're like, you can't sit still because you're like, they got to be doing something. When your dog becomes more ramped up, but not fulfilled, right? When you start to lose the joy, you're going to lose the connection, right? And I don't want that for you. I do not want that for you at all. Okay, so what do we do about it? Well, I guess there's a gut check time, right? There's a gut check time. I want you to really, truly ask yourself, do I enjoy this? Do I enjoy this? Now, like I talk all the time about figuring out your dog's fulfillment and trying to be relevant to your dog. So there is a part of it. But there should be some enjoying. If you're not enjoying it, neither is your dog. And if it's something that your dog enjoys, but you're not enjoying it, but you feel like it's something that you have to do, they're just going to disconnect from you. They're just going to disconnect from you. It's the difference between the have tos versus the get tos, right? If you're walking out the door like, I have to go do this, then you're not going to connect. You're not going to reach the dog. It should be, I get to go out with the dogs. Now, don't get me wrong. There are days. There are days when I'm like, oh man, I have to let the dogs out. There are days when the weather is awful and I'm like, oh God, I have to go out with these dogs. I try to stop myself, if I'm being honest. I try to stop myself and be like, oh no, we get to do that. But sometimes even my get to sound really, really sarcastic. Like, ooh, look at me. I get to go out in this snowstorm. Look at me. I get to go out in the hail. Like, it's funny because I usually do go like, oh, I don't want to go out because it's snowing, it's blowing, it's whatnot. And then I get out there, and when my have tos turn into get tos, when I see the dogs playing in the snow, I'm like, oh, I get to be here to be a part of this. I get to laugh at this. So even if it starts off as a have to, but you can save it with a I get to mid activity, that's still a win in my book. And then I want you to check, does my dog enjoy this? Is this something that my dog enjoys? I will tell you firsthand from working with a lot of people, talking to a lot of people, there's a lot of people, especially, I'm going to point it out, especially my empty nesters, that are like, they're filling their time now with their dog, which is great. But they're also like, I'm going to now do all the dog things. Like, these are all the things I wanted to do when I was younger and I didn't have time to do it. And I want to do all the dog things. And they're overscheduling their dogs. They're overscheduling them and they're not considering like downtime. Dogs need downtime, like just like your kids did. Can't overschedule them. So does your dog actually enjoy it? Like, I'm going to go back to the typical, ask your dog. Is your dog even like this? I know there's so many people there's certain events and certain dog games and whatnot that the excitement of the event, whether or not your dog is great at it or not, the excitement of the events is overwhelming for your dogs. And as a result, it takes away from the joy of the event. And there was a good friend of mine who was a student of one of my earlier programs, Relationship Remedy. And she was really struggling because she had set up, she was great. She'd done all this stuff with her dog, but she had set up literally an agility course in her backyard. So she was teaching her dog all of that. They were having a great time. They were loving it. And then they decided to sign the dog up for agility classes and sort of get, more equipment because she didn't have all of it. And the result of it was that when she got there, her dog was really, really overwhelmed. There was too many people, too much stuff. It was in this great big arena and she just wasn't, it just wasn't happening. And I said, like, sure, it might take some time for her to get used to it. Absolutely, that could be a thing. But I want you to also keep in the back of your head that it just might not be it for her, that maybe the special bond that you've created over doing agility is just going to have to stay, within your backyard and the few friends that you have that come over to help and to play with you and your dog, that your dog's world is already fulfilled with how it is, and so we always have to ask the dog, does my dog actually enjoy that? And I think another question too is, if no one told me that I had to do this, would I still be doing it? That's a big one, especially if it comes from a trainer, right? If it comes from a trainer and you're like, oh, now don't, again, I'm going to put this out there because the last few podcasts are really sounding like anti-training, and they are. But I want to put out there that there are some things that that training does help with, and so without knowing all the specifics of your dog behavior issues or whatnot, I don't want to be like, don't do any training. But at the same time, ask yourself, if no one told me to do this, would I still be doing it? Because if there's something that feels off to you and not right to you, or you're just like, I don't really like this, my first step would be, can I ask your dog trainer to clarify, why do I need to do this? What is the importance of this? What is the end goal of this? What is this teaching my dog? What is this doing for my dog? Because if it feels wrong to you, if it doesn't feel right to you, you have every right to question it and just get them to explain it. A good dog trainer will be able to tell you exactly why they're asking you to do that, and explain it in a way that makes it feel good for you. So don't be afraid to sort of question those kind of things. Again, I'm going to go back to a lot of stuff is just we're asking dogs to do stuff for the sake of doing them and not necessarily for any particular reason. And that's the kind of stuff that I think gets in the way of our relationship. All right. So I just wanted to make sure I'm remembering all the things that I wanted to point out here today. Let's talk about the key point here, though, is that presence creates more connection than a perfectly executed training plan. So, what does your dream life with your dog actually look like? And are you working towards that? Are you working towards actually, getting that? And I think the big thing that I want you to understand and to realize, and this is a big point, and I think this is where you're going to get the permission slip to do less, is that doing nothing together is still doing something. Okay? Believe it or not, it's still very pro-social activity to do nothing with your dog, as long as you're doing it together. So please do not feel bad about, like, I don't really want to do anything right now. I don't really need my dogs to be constantly engaged and doing activities. What if we just hang out and we do nothing? And that is perfectly okay. Stillness is not a break from the work. Stillness is the work. And I would say probably more important, teaching your dog how to be still and how to be quiet with you, how to rest with you, is still part of it. And I think you should embrace it. So, I don't know, where in your day are you doing instead of being? Maybe ask yourself that. Is this an area of my day where I can just be with the dog? Do I have to constantly always be doing? Because I want you to make a shift so that you can let go of the guilt and just be with your dog. Right? Let go of that. I'm telling you right now, if you're not already burnt out, by doing that kind of work, you're going to prevent that burnout. And that's what I want for you. So if this episode got you thinking, maybe I'm doing too much, and you want to sit down and chat with me, know that I'm always here. You can either chat with me inside the Free Living Beyond Obedience group, ask a question over there. You can book a call with me whenever you want at beyondobedience.ca/session. We can sit down and talk about it. Either way, I want you to get out there today, my friend, and be the person that your dog thinks you are. Because your dog thinks that you are amazing. And so do I. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Oh, and one more thing. This podcast is meant for entertainment and education purposes only and is not meant to replace hands-on professional training. If you're really struggling with your dog, please reach out to a professional in your area. All right, I think that's it. Bye for now.